What's up, Tinuid? Saying, maintaining those pipes for the YouTube videos. Exactly. Exactly indeed. We got pipes. Yeah, where are they? Oh, they're up there. Pipes there. Pipes in here. Pipes everywhere. I'm still a bit underhydrated, I think. But that's easily fixed. Alright, so my plan for today is this barbell. One of my favorites. The multi-grip. Oh, fuck. Multi-grip. What I think I want to do now is go back and forth between benching this weight and somewhere there, I think. Benching and pressing overhead. So one set of each, back and forth. I'll just catch my breath and go for the next. So let me, not quite sure where to put this camera. Maybe someone can tell me preferences. But yeah, pressing back and forth. I'll most likely stick to, let me get this going. There we go. Longer sets for bench, shorter ones for overhead because of the weight discrepancy. I think that's pretty much it. I might change the weight. I'm not sure. Maybe I actually want to go for higher reps on both. So maybe we're gonna be changing the plates after all. So, something here on the left side again is a bit wonky, so should try and get that opened up. Somehow. far I can actually get with that. But I'm going to do a tiny bit of hanging here, or at least try and stretch the shoulder open, have a bit more leeway. So right now that almost feels like plenty heavy for overhead pressing for 10 reps. Obviously that's not what we'd be happy with, but warming up is usually pretty slow for me. What's up, Jordy Concordi? Says, I believe in Swedish, I'm my brother in Christ. What's up? How you doing? Merrick says, bonjour. I don't speak French, but happy to have you with us. And I'll respond in Finnish saying, terve. There are many things I could say in Finnish, but we'll go with that. All right, let's jump into this bench and see how it feels. That first set fell a bit tight on the good old what do you call it, torso front. A bit of that tightness in the neck and shoulder, shoulder, neck, trap, all those things. We'll put that weight over there. Just gonna go ahead and change the position of the safeties here because nope, that's not the right one. Because those were for the close grip bench distance. These ones are pretty perfect for benching. What I really like about this height is that it's literally right just at the extreme range, the low range of a benching distance. So I can actually do kind of even a better pause press on these platforms because I can come down, I can still remain the tightness on my back, but I don't have to, like, I can go to a dead stop, and that has actually been really good. I really do enjoy that. If you want to do paused. We're going to do this with the widest grip. That's kind of the most bench benefits. That's good. Good stuff. Yeah, I think we're gonna do the work of moving the weights back and forth. So with the overhead, I think we're just gonna, you know what? Let's go to the kilo plates. I know, it's a massive increase. But for what we're doing today, this is actually a pretty good jump. I'm gonna massage this just a tiny bit more. On the bench I could feel something here wasn't exactly in the right place. If you want to do a bit more of this hanging, this is actually really good if you're finding issues with overhead pressing, to just do a bit of hanging in between your sets. And even, if you want to, I'd say go even more optimal, you could do pull-ups and then overhead, which is something I will probably transition into, actually probably pretty soon, doing workout days based on axis of movement, which I really like. And you can go back and forth doing pull-ups and overhead pressing. So it helps with these kind of issues as well. Oh. Cool. Oh. felt like a pretty good step up. Tinuda is asking, what does the screwdriver do? The hanging stretch feels good. I don't know what you mean by screwdriver. Do you mean like the movement I'm doing there? Or do you mean this thing? Or do you mean this thing? Do you mean the movement when I'm hanging? Not quite sure. If you're talking about the hanging, then that's just a way of the screwdriver against my chest. So this one. So this is called a massage gun. So pretty simple. There's a motor inside. There's this piston that goes back and forth, and you just you know, it's basically massaging you. But these can be, well, you can use them for a lot of purposes. Like if you've been working out and you're sore, these can really help get some blood flow back. So for recovery stuff, really good. I find that these are really good when I'm still warming up, because sometimes you have these tensions, even when you warm up on the treadmill and on the stuff you're doing. I feel like there can be a lot of like residual tension and stuff like that. So this can really help you go through those points and, you know, relieve a lot of that tension. It's really good for like hips and all kinds of things. But yeah, if you have some tightness, that can really help you remove most of the kind of the acute, the immediate, the short-term issues like tension and those kind of things. And I actually use this just to sort of gauge where I am every day. So when I'm warming up on the treadmill, I like to go through some of the areas that I can to kind of get a feel for where things are. Tenderizing you, yeah, that's exactly right. Obviously harder to do with your back because you can't really get to all of the places very easily. But I find when you're doing chest workouts, for example, this is really good because you can really kind of dig in nicely into places, and for me it does a massive difference. And I'm in fact gonna do just a tiny bit more of this because there is something just about here that feels a bit off, feels a bit tight. So I just like to loosen things up, and yeah, right there. I don't know what it is, but especially for me, the chest is really gets very tight, and this really makes a big difference for that. If you're going to get one, the main thing to pay attention to is this travel distance here, because the bigger it is, obviously, the deeper it's going to hit. And for most of these kind of cheaper massage guns, well, I shouldn't say these because this was more expensive, but the cheaper ones don't have a huge travel distance, which means they don't hit very deep. And if you want something else except a bit of relaxation, then you really need it to hit deeper to those, get to those soft tissues properly. The other thing is the power, because again, cheaper ones don't have that much power, so the engine can actually stall as you're trying to massage yourself. Hasn't ever stalled on me, this one. This is called a Theragun, so I haven't yet needed any more power than that. And this is the second best model that they have, so yeah. But it's a handy tool. It's not like, it doesn't fix everything, but it certainly gives you a hell of a lot more leverage. And it's amazing when you're sore to go through that, like go through the tissues, because it hurts at first, but then you get a bit of relief and that kind of warmth begins to come back to the muscles. So yeah, I do love that. But again, doesn't fix every issue for you, but it makes a huge difference for me in recovery and warming up. Oh, that was pretty tough. Or I should say, felt heavier. Yeah, another thing that you have, an option that you have with safeties that are optimally set, is that you can do, obviously, a kind of a complete reset. So it does give you, like, one of the good things about using machines, if you're after hypertrophy, is that they can give you this point of complete relaxation, or kind of a reset in the movement. And with something like the safeties here, you can really achieve some of that same effect, so that the hold doesn't tax you as much. Obviously, training the hold makes you stronger, can make you bigger, but it also takes a lot of energy to hold weight in the position where you're not in the either part of the movement, eccentric or decentric, doesn't matter, but that's kind of a good bonus as well. Which I did do there because the weight feels quite heavy, so I like to focus my effort on the press and the eccentric portion as well. Again, just gonna hang here for a moment, try and loosen that shoulder, feel the stretch in the lat. Get some more space to work with. And I also like to do this in kind of reps, if you will. So I'll just hang. And again, you can see that I'm obviously not just completely hanging. My feet are on the ground, but this is a good way of controlling the pressure on the shoulder. And also it doesn't require me to use a tremendous amount of my grip strength. But this is a good way of controlling the amount of pressure you want to put on the shoulder. But once the stretch begins to feel kind of like there's no blood flow, or that it feels complete, like you can't almost stand it any longer, or it's sort of getting to its extreme state, then it's a good moment to let go, let the muscles, let the joints kind of resettle, get that blood flow in there, and then you can go again. Again, I like to do that with calves. It's a great way of increasing the range of motion, getting the stretch better. All right, let's do this set. So again, another 2 kilo jump. Okay, so the pressing is starting to feel a lot better. Less restricted. Feels more secure, stronger. So, for the bench here, so right now, it's kind of tempting to bump up the weight, but because we're doing both bench and overhead, you're going to be a lot weaker in both than what you expect. Because you're doing both and you're spending energy on both, that takes away from the other movement. So if you're doing a workout like this, you're going to be a lot weaker, obviously, than if you, let's say, if you did nothing but bench or nothing but overhead. So weights are going to be lower, but this is going to be extremely good when it comes to hypertrophy. Obviously, depending on how you want to schedule and program your workouts, but this for me right now is to get in a general pressing volume workout. And also, I really want to have more size and power in my shoulders. And I think it has been going down because I haven't been overhead pressing as much. This is probably why I should be transitioning to the kind of antagonistic axis of movement type of training, to actually have a day dedicated to pull-ups and overhead, and then bench and row, and then kind of have a squat focused day, and that actually makes a pretty damn good routine. But that's not what we're doing now. So just did a 2 kilo jump because the previous weight was felt pretty heavy here. So let's jump in. Jesus. I swear that bar weighs more than 20. That's what I try and tell myself. That it's at least 25. Can't even understand how, if it's made out of an axle pipe, then it has all this shit. Maybe I should weigh it someday. Because you'd think it would be heavier than a normal barbell, but maybe the materials aren't as dense, so that could be a reason. Okay, so I finally graduated to actual bigger plates for the overhead press. This is really, if you're doing a workout like this, also good exercise in humility, because every time you split any kind of effort, like if you include movements that basically take away from power, overall power, it's going to affect the other movement. It's definitely going to bring your numbers down, and that can be quite tough for a lot of people to put into perspective if that's only what you're focusing on. So starting to get a bit of tightness here in the trap. So I'm gonna have to see how that develops. Again, I really don't, when it comes to hanging, I really don't feel like do too much of it, especially when this left side feels so tight basically all the time. So you can rock back and forth, so side to side, or just back and forth to get a feel of the area and the different stretches. So this is only a, wait, yeah, 2 kilo jump again. Yes. So, same as before. Ooh. So I think the weights are getting to a point for me where the neck pain is getting pretty prevalent. It's just one of those days. I don't yet know what else I can really do with that, but that was a somewhat decent amount of pressing. I'm gonna call it a day for that because I can't really do more overhead work because it's too cramping for the neck. I'm actually beginning to lose some of this feeling sensation from here on the left. So that does unfortunately conclude that session. Let me try and rearrange these a bit more. That's all right. This was sufficiently low that we can be pressing again in a couple of days, so it works out pretty well. Again, what we're going to do is our mandatory. Jeez, this neck is so fucking messed up. We're going to do our mandatory ab rollouts for my wrists and my neck. Allow me to so right now I'm testing doing this every day except for the weekends, which amounts to basically 5 sets of this to failure, which is probably, I don't know how much that would be in terms of normal sets, but okay, I think that's enough. I actually have no idea how many that was. it doesn't usually go that far. I guess the long extended weekend had an effect. Still trying to check out this arm, because even though it looks like, I don't know if you can see this, looks like I look like a junkie, but it's actually just another hospital visit. And this one doesn't look completely healed, so just keeping an eye on that. This area is pretty swollen, so not because I'm swole, but because of this blood medication. But yeah, it's actually not feeling super great. But it's pretty interesting because the limiting factor there on the ab rollouts was more my wrists and maybe even my shoulders. So the core is doing pretty decent. Actually, might want to count how many reps that was, just so I know where we sort of stand. But maybe that was a mistake because we have to do it again tomorrow, so. But it's kind of a self-adjusting mechanism, and I'll just do less if I can't do any more. Alright, cool. That's it for today. Just clocking in for an hour. I'm gonna jump on the treadmill for probably about 10 minutes. Just a bit of kind of finalizing cardio, which I've actually grown to look forward to and grown quite fond of. And it allows me to sneak in my weekly cardio, because I don't really, I prefer to do a sport, which I've been organizing, which I should, but yeah. But I have to say that I've kind of grown to develop a bit of a liking for the running here. Just keeping an eye on this. Something here is feeling a bit wonky. So yeah, I kind of like doing a bit of a jog there, but I prefer to do it just a little bit here and there. I just don't want to, like, being on the treadmill for 45 minutes twice a week or whatever. It just doesn't really speak to me at this point. So this way I can sneak it in. Cool. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Take care of yourself. Stay healthy. I'll see you next time. Finished.